episode 2 of the Been Here podcast with Maleek Ray. We are going to talk about where they are now as an artist. So Maleek, we talked about where you've been. Where are you now? How would you describe yourself? You started as an actor, you're doing so many things. Where are you now?
Trying not to get into the traps. Truly, I feel like my journey in this industry has just always been me being willing to explore, willing to try some different things, and keeping a pure heart when it comes to it. Mm-hmm. And it can be easy to start to get acknowledgement and to start to switch up the process. Even though, still building up resource. I feel like I'm grateful for the spotlight, and I know what to do when I get the spotlight. I'm not even gonna say I know what to do when I get the spotlight. I know how to listen. I know how to continue to listen to God when the spotlight is there. And I'm grateful for that time in the shadows, because time in the shadows, I feel like really, really, really is a time to get intimate with God's voice. So then when the spotlight comes, it's still like, look, it's me and God at the basis of it. So within the artistic journey of it all, really, 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 really keeping that with me as I walk towards okay, what does it look like not just creating to be creating now, but also to be in revision process of thinking about production and producing, and what is it to be thinking about my career as a performer in the future, like what is the care I have to take care of myself to have access to this gift in 10 years from now, because your voice ages, your body ages, your mind, all of these things. And I've been going so hard in my 20s. We turned 30. Well, you already crossed over.
Okay, big 3-0.
I'm crossing over in September.
Soon.
And I'm like, I want to be able to do this for a long time, and will be able to. And now it's like some of the hustler mentality that I have is still there, but I'm like, okay, you gotta rest. And you actually do gotta buy the probiotics. Okay, and you do gotta get the, you do gotta make them investments.
I put on sunscreen now. Okay.
No, for real. Big SPF, and creatively, I sort of feel like a hot girl that's dating. Like a lot of my early time, I feel like was just me chilling, being in my own things, and now it really does feel like I'm dating.
I'm committed to this thing.
And within the industry, meeting people and being like, oh my goodness, who are some of the people that I want to be in creative partnership for this, and this, and who do I want to be in creative partnership for this, and this, and that feels so cool, because before it was just me and an idea in a $15 studio rental.
Okay, this what I got.
In my community.
Amen. Okay, because we have supported each other. King Radio, we've supported each other.
Baby.
Okay.
From the beginning. So that's where I am right now.
You said so much. I want to get into all of it, but first, the traps. You said you're trying to avoid the traps. What are traps that you are trying to avoid?
Trying to have a press release come out every couple of months. Because we really do navigate this place where visibility is currency. And sometimes it's difficult to get things when people haven't seen you in a while, or when they don't know what you're up to. And it's like I saw that with Gutta. I've been working on that project since 2022. And my work samples for it really are not that different. A lot of the music for Gutta, MVP is one of the first songs I wrote for that play. Wrote that song in one night, in one sitting, kept working on it, and it still has that original energy to it, which is why it's just so riveting. And I still stick to a lot of those OG work samples. And I could not get nothing.
Because y'all didn't want me at first.
For the first 2 years, I didn't get nothing,
Right.
But I was willing to get innovative. And I was like, okay, well, if this one isn't going to knock down the door, let me try this. And came together with the Monty Malia, and we created Ghetto Alchemy and Lunchroom Survival Guide. Dropped a mixtape.
Yeah.
Ghetto Alchemy, Volume 1 was once again, you know, like I said, just being willing to have fun and try some stuff. And it wasn't like, oh my goodness, I gotta go to the studio and this gotta be mixed and this gotta be. Child, I listen to that now. I'm like, oh, I saw the hot mess.
But I did it.
And I really had my back.
Period.
And gave me space to grow.
Yes.
And gave me space to be authentic, because I was authentically messy. I was authentically figuring my shit out and figuring out where do I want to be in the world, and do I want to let people's view of me keep me from being who God sent me here to be. So I think that the trap really becomes like chasing, you know, and not that I'm not willing to pitch myself and put myself out there, but also like not chasing like, oh my goodness, I did this residency and I got this award, so now I need to get this award, and so now I need to get this, and I need.
Right, it's so exhausting. It's so tiring.
It is. You know, even though productivity is currency within this thing that we navigate, which is why I'm so grateful, you know, to have the gift of being multi-hyphenate, but also it goes back to the care, you know, because sometimes it's like the energy I need for myself as a writer, sometimes it's not always support what I need as a performer. The body is practical. And it's hard to hide fatigue. And luckily, like, I've taken the time out to train so that fatigue doesn't keep me from doing a thing, but also, you know, acknowledging that like damage can happen from working with fatigue.
Yeah.
Long-term damage is able to take place. And I'm just in a place where I'm really not just wanting my gifts to serve on a commercial, within a commercial hemisphere, but I'm really wanting my gifts to serve within the kingdom of heaven. You know, as this world shifts and changes, and if this thing all comes down crashing, I still want to be able to have this to speak a word that's given to me, you know? So.
Amen. And what does it look like to listen to God in your practice? I know you talked about that earlier. What does that look like? What is your spiritual practice?
Child, God don't be playing with me.
Okay.
Child.
They said my child.
For real. I mean, once again, you know, like I said in the first part, like I was such a silent kid. Like my voice and God's voice don't feel too different, because I think it's something like that. Like that was one of my only friends for a big part of my life. That was the only person I could talk to for a big part of my life. You know, being honest, it's some things when I met you, after knowing you for a year or two, the only other entity that knew it besides you and whoever else was God. That was it. So I think that intimacy is like not only cultivating it from like traumatic places, but also cultivating it from like pleasure practice, joy, all of these things. And listening to God to me right now, really, it's not even necessarily about like, oh, I need a word. It's about being obedient to what I receive.
Amen. You
know, because it's been given, and I was like, all I gotta do is be obedient. Okay, easier said than done.
Because we always want something.
Not for real.
Okay.
You want me to get up and write at 6 a.m.?
Here I go, Jesus.
Okay. You want me to go by the water and write? Okay. I need to start spending this money to get these healthy juices in them. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But then it's such a pleasurable experience.
Yeah.
It's such a pleasurable experience. I was just walking down the street, walking my dog Diamond, yesterday, and we was just having such a good time. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is what this is about. This is what it's about. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that you're finding these moments of joy. Speaking of joy, who is an artistic collaborator that you are collaborating with, that you've recently really like enjoyed working with?
Amani Malia. Yo, I wouldn't be surprised if we're related.
Okay.
I really wouldn't. Yeah, working with Amani is like, it's so special. It's like so special. And I'm not trying to get emotional, but like, it's you know, it's a special thing to have these close relationships that have been in my life now. Like, y'all have been in my life for 15 years. You know, people I've met in college have been around 11, 10 years at this point, you know, like hitting these huge marks. Me and the money met each other in 2023.
That was so recent, but the relationship feels so deep. And it is deep. It doesn't just feel deep, but like 3 years ago was yesterday.
That's somebody that I can create like soul work with. Soul work. Yeah.
Yeah, no, keep going. We're only at 10 minutes.
Okay, period.
We got another 20. We got another 20.
Time. Yeah, I was just gonna say that it's like one of those things that when I come into creative space with Imani, like I don't feel like I gotta do any industry talk. And I don't feel like I gotta put no PR on. Like that's somebody we can really get in the nitty-gritty with one another, and we both are interested in doing the soul work. So it's like it's no like upholding of ego or anything, and it's also no walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
It's like that's my family, and to be able to experience that in this creative world is something that's so special, and not that it's not out there with other people too. You know, it's just that who you get called to be. Because, you know, it can be overwhelming if it's like that with everybody.
Yeah, and you can't collaborate with everybody. I've worked with people where I'm like, that was nice. We won't be working together again. Not for, like, I know I said it in a real shady way, but sometimes you just lock in and click with people. And sometimes a collaboration for one show is just a collaboration for one show.
And I don't think it's shady.
Okay.
I
didn't say it's shady, but I was like, I hope that people don't think that was shady.
I don't think so, because it's one of those things where anybody who has had to take an idea from out of their head and make an actual factual thing knows how crazy of a journey that can get to be. You know, that can be some very, I don't want to say fragile, but in some moments it can be fragile.
Yeah.
You know, especially depending on where people are within their journeys and why people are doing a thing. You know, like I think if somebody's goal was to have the biggest commercial hit and they like wanted to work with me, it may be frustrated because that's not my goal right now.
That's not the alignment.
You know, it may be my goal. Like I might be down to do that with a song. Like, okay, let's lock in. Let's da 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 da. That might not be artistically with like a play what I'm looking to do right now. So, you know, I think it's respect.
Yeah, and you talk so much about community. How have you cultivated your community in New York?
New York.
And I mean, we're blessed because we have a bunch of folks from Detroit who like came with us. But I guess, just talk about building community, making community, deepening community, because community is so much of your practice.
Truly. Well, you know, I went to, after Detroit, I went to SUNY Purchase. And the cool thing about going to SUNY Purchase is right there up in White Plains. Yeah. So many people were from New York, and so many people moved to New York. So I have a lot of people from college that came and moved to the city that I know. I have my folks from Detroit. And then I think that the recent thing that really shifted the community that I was in, that it's like in 2020, when did it happen? I think that 2023 is when I really started using the appropriate pronouns, even though it was something that
appropriate pronouns. Yeah. Okay.
You know, like that's when I was like, my pronouns are they them. Even though I knew for a while before, I just didn't want to complicate things as an actor. Yeah. I was nervous about opening, you know, that can of worms up. So the journey of being a writer and really making sure that this world that I'm building around myself is something that's affirmative to my true identity has put me in community with so many like siblings. Like that felt like the third wave of community where I was like, oh my goodness, you know, I feel like I've always attracted like mirrors, you know, and I guess the ages have been like, you know, we was 14 when we met, and then I think about going to college and being 18, and then that time that I'm talking about now, it's like meeting people around like 26. Yeah. So it's just interesting portals, interesting gates, and you know, I'm a Libra, but also I'm a Libra, and also I'm a hard worker. I done worked at so many jobs and places and picked up things here and there and met so many cool people around, you know, like along the way. And I'm the person where, you know, one day after I win whatever big award or whatnot, you already know I'm gonna pull up to the Coney Island. I'm gonna pull up to And New Yorkers, we're not talking about the beach.
No, it's restaurant is a big word, but it's a spot,
like,
you know?
Like a diner.
A diner.
Like a
restaurant
diner.
is too much.
You know, in Detroit, I'm gonna want to pull up to the Coney. I'll win the Oscar and still go in to do the teaching artist work.
Yeah.
You know, really would because it's just something about being connected to people, and those are the people that inspire the work that I do.
Yeah. How do you decide upon a collaborator? Because you've worked with so many now. Are there certain things you look for as like, this is my practice, this is what I know I need in a collaborator or a collaboration to have a successful experience?
Listen to God.
Yeah.
Because every collaborator teaches me different things, you know, and it's like, I think that my life has just been a journey of patience, right? But I'm also grateful for people being willing to be patient with me as I learn myself, you know, and I really believe in being patient with others as they learn themselves too. So it's like working with folks, but it always feels like it happens on divine time, you know, like, and even if something is the right fit, I'm not afraid, because I'm not afraid of conflict, and I don't feel like conflict has to mean like, oh, we beefed out, or I didn't enjoy myself. Yeah. I actually enjoy myself with conflict because we learn something, and it means like, oh, okay, we can really get down to stuff, still reflect, still respect one another, and still be on this journey together, or have been together to learn a lesson and then go off and do our own thing and still support from afar. So, you know, working with collaborators, my biggest thing is how people treat people.
Yeah.
You know, when I first am thinking about collaborating with somebody, I want to go out to eat with you. I want to see how you treat the waiter. I want to see, you know, if you see grandma on the train with her cane in her hand, is you gonna get up or not?
Yeah.
I want to see how you look at the school kids running around. You know, like, and not that everybody gotta be the most, because some people ain't people's people, you know. But I know the people that are attracted to my work. So I know that if you collaborate with me, I don't attract the traditional theatrical people.
Yeah. I
attract the people. So them gonna be the people that's coming out, and if you just try to make everything accessible for the theater people, you're gonna end up getting to it and being like, dang, I actually should have maybe been willing to pivot.
Yeah, that was so diluted. That wasn't what I wanted to say. That wasn't how I wanted to say it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, so I feel like that's such a juicy process. But it's, you know, it can be, I feel spoiled.
I do. Feel spoiled?
Because I love my collaborators.
Yeah.
I love my collaborators. As an artist, to be honest, I really haven't had moments of like, oh, you know, I've had moments that have challenged me, but I've gone through the fire with people who was willing to go through it together and come out on the other side. You know, I've formed lifelong relationships in this thing.
Yeah.
Outside of this, where I can FaceTime and be like, hey auntie, today mom in the bag, you know, and like really be like, what's up? How was you feeling? But I also think that's the Detroit in me, and that's the thing of being raised by the people I was raised by. It's like when you step foot in somebody's city, you let them know that you touched down and you say what's up.
Yeah.
So I just think it's a certain etiquette that exists within the work.
What is an artistic challenge, where like maybe a difficult conversation that you've had, and like how did you work through it? How did you come out on the other side?
Probably a difficult artistic conversation would have to be,
or even, it doesn't have to be a conversation. It could also be a choice of, you know, we are both producers as well. Being like, we ain't got the money, gotta cut that.
To be honest, I think one of the most difficult things is sometimes and this is my multi-hyphenate hat coming on. Like a difficult challenge would probably be that I'm really big about communal care
Mm-hmm.
and like spiritual hygienic practices within the work that I do. So I also know that like it heightens the sensitivity of a space at times, right? But sensitivity, awareness, whatever's the synonym that like brings you into the fold. So, to be honest, the hardest thing for me at times is centering what I need in the new work space. Because even though something is a new work for me, since I also am sometimes the writer, the director, and then working
Producer.
Within work, sometimes I'm bringing people into the fold, and it's like being willing to get what I need from a process has sometimes been a push and a pull, because I'm willing to shift based on the needs of the room. But everybody, something that was so healing for me is the high arts process that I went through, where the entire team was like, look, we're here for you. We're here for you. And I was able to make some really, really cool creative discoveries. But outside of that, I started thinking about budget things and stuff. But I haven't really run into that hasn't necessarily been the hardest thing, because I've worked with people that's like, look, we can pivot. Like, I haven't worked with somebody that's like, I need this amount of money to do this in order to bring this vision to life, which is real.
Yeah.
Which is real, but I feel spoiled when it comes to like a lot of my challenges have been like growing pain challenges.
Yeah. And that's what it is. This is our first time being 29 and 30, and this is our first day. What is today? Friday, May 8th, 2026. I've never lived this life before.
You know what? I'll say this. When me and Amani work together, it's co-creations. That is the principle of how we come in to work together, right? And especially working in the new workspace, at times the new workspace, I think, can, as a writer, and also in our duo, I'm the masculine presenting person. So as the writer and as the masculine presenting person, I get a certain amount of
respect from whoever you're working with, institutionally.
In society, the same way that if a man and a woman is sitting down eating, they're gonna look at the man and maybe order for both of them and stuff. So sometimes that's very difficult, because that's not me and Amani's dynamic at all. To be honest, people will ask us a question and I look at Amani like,
boss, what it is?
No, for real. for real. And Amani just really is just so. That's a real one. That's a real one. And as somebody who loves them, it's difficult to navigate that, because it doesn't feel good having to see them have to navigate that. Because I don't think they should have to. I don't. And I know we're young and stuff, and people challenge, but I just really, really, really sometimes that's a difficult thing to grow through, working with somebody I really, really care about. Even if it's just a basic thing of, and that's not necessarily even just institution. That's just like a world thing.
Yeah. Thank you for your vulnerability. I appreciate your well thought out answer.
I love you, Bessie.
I love you. All right, 2 kind of questions left in this part 2 of this interview. What are you working on right now that you can share, that you want to share?
Right now, I am working on music again. I've been sneaking in and working on music over this past year, here and there. It's just that so much of my work has music in it. And I've really been missing working on music just for the practice of my personal music. So I have some performances and stuff coming up that's gonna be pretty fun. That's getting ready to be announced. I have some music that's gonna be coming out soon. I'm excited for that. I have this one song that's really, really hot. I'm really excited for people to hear it. And and also working on getting gutted to Detroit.
Period, because I'm going to be there.
Working on getting gutted to Detroit.
I won't say I'm done. I'm not done with New York, but I do want to do art in the city that I was born and raised in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the people are there.
The
woman is there. So it's that's getting gutted to Detroit. specifically, you know, the house I was raised in burned down when I was in the second grade, but we still own a lot of land.
Because it's close to where you live now. But you remember you had your movie premiere there when you brought the inflatable?
Yeah.
That's cute. That's real cute. I can see it.
Outdoor stage.
That's nice.
Outdoor stage. My mother is gonna fight me on it. She's like, and I'm like, girl, a stage can be put up and taken down.
Exactly.
Like,
or we can all just be on the grass and like the actors be up and you get a little picnic blanket and you sit down and you watch the show.
That's how.
Yeah.
That's how.
This is really cute. I really like that idea. And this last question for part 2, you're an emerging artist, you're in the thick of it, you've been doing it for, I don't know, what, 7 years? How long would you say?
Out of school?
How long would you say you've been an artist for?
Emerging artist in the industry.
Yeah, in the industry.
I mean, 2018
was
my first year. So that's going on year 8.
Yeah, you can count.
Yeah. 2018 was my first equity contract.
Exactly. Was that at the La Mama? No, that was
2019.
Yeah,
my
I
first
saw you at
thing
La Mama.
was a workshop of this one play.
Oh, cool. How have you found, or how did you find your artistic voice for people who are maybe just starting off? They're like, I kind of think I might want to say this, but I don't really know. How did you find your artistic voice?
Man, be willing to embarrass yourself.
Yes.
I was just doing rewrites, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing rewrites, and I'm like, damn, why my character's talking to the audience so much?
Right.
And I literally asked myself the question. I was like, why are you so afraid to just show people a thing? Like, why are you so afraid that they're not gonna get it? Why are you not risking them not getting it? Just show the event. Not show the event, create the event, and allow people to experience it and meet it where they are, instead of wanting everybody to relate to the moment the way you relate to the moment. You don't get to be God. You are conduit so that God is able to speak. But as creator, people say the script is Bible or this. I'm not here trying to be God. I'm not. I don't even want to be a demigod.
I'm a human.
Baby, and I'm God's child. That's the thing that gives me a different because it's not about what I'm gonna do. I will call him my parent. So in terms of finding voice, I'm still finding it. But the only thing I know how to do is be me. And it's like, I've just always have been interested in the concept of sustainability. I don't want to be a version of myself that doesn't hold up next year, or in 5 years from now, or 10 years from now. And not to say I'm chained and married to who I am in this moment, but I want the seeds of who I am now to be something that's able to produce the fruits of tomorrow, and the fruits that my children and my children's children will eat off of. So I'm still finding it. And I think my journey will forever be me finding it, you know. And but the journey of getting to this point of having a voice that exists within my work really just comes from me not being able to, not being afraid to explore where I come from and questioning. You know, like one of my favorite things that Nina Simone ever said is the interview, and they were asking her like, what's her purpose or something, and she was like, I want them to be curious about themselves. I want them to be curious about where they come from. And, you know, she even has that song. I'm not sure if it's her original song. It's called Who Am I? And maybe a reiteration of something prior. But she's just talking about who she may be within the many lifetimes of existence. And it was one of my favorite songs to listen to my sophomore year at SUNY Burgess. So, not being afraid to be like, who am I and how am I informed from the people that came before me?
That's beautiful. That's delicious. We're going to eat that up in part 3. We're going to talk about where the seeds are planting and what's growing and where you're going next. But we're going to finish part 2 here, and I'm so excited for part 3.